This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stockbox interview.
Joining us today is Oliver Friesen, the CEO of Golden Metal Resources. Following news that the company have raised £750,000 from one investor, that is Pure Bond. Investors may be familiar with Pure Bond from extensive interviews that we've done with Kavanga Resources and Ben Turney there, who are involved with that company in a similar form. But of course, this is to support the accelerated development in Nevada. So, first of all, Oliver, how are you feeling about this? You've got a big investor here taking a significant position in the company.
Well, I'm tired, Mark, if I'm being completely honest. I just landed from a red eye about 2 hours ago. I was in the United States after PDAC there. But in regards to the subscription, we're thrilled. It's really important to have to bring in investors as we build this company from, our admission 8-9 months ago to what we believe this company can be. So, we have 71% of the business held by Power and two other large and very supportive shareholders. So it's really important as we continue to grow this business that, shareholders that come in at later stages are aligned with the other shareholders in the business. So we could not be more happy to have this raise done. Obviously, a fantastic group, as you mentioned, has taken this position. And most importantly, it frees us up here, and the additional capital will allow us to do some really exciting things at the business. So we feel really happy about it. The raise was done at a premium as well, which I think really reflects the underlying value of the business here and what we're doing here. And it's certainly being recognized in the market here, which is really exciting as well.
Good stuff. Well, of course, you've got this money now. What do you plan to do with it? I noticed there was 3 areas, really. You've got next stage exploration at Garfield, commencement of key permitting steps relating to the development of Pilot Mountain, and diamond drilling of key exploration and resource infill targets at, indeed, the famous Pilot Mountain. Are these funds ring-fenced? Have you got a plan for each of them and how they're going to be deployed, or is that yet to be decided?
No, we have a pretty good plan as to how the money will be deployed. One thing I know we've discussed before and many investors have asked for is timelines of drilling. Mm-hmm. But obviously with the capital in now, and as we've discussed before, the permits are progressing right now. That certainly means that we will be drilling in the not too distant future here at Pilot Mountain, which I think is a really exciting development that people can get excited about here. As first of all, there's some exploration targets that we're really thrilled about going to test, but also it's about continuing to explore for additional resources at Desert Shielite there. So that's going to be a really important program for the company, and we're looking forward to announcing further updates on that front. And then moreover, we're going to be doing, as you mentioned, some key permitting steps, or starting some of those important steps at Pilot Mountain as well. Reason being, one of our real goal here is to become the kind of the only domestic supplier of tungsten concentrate to the U.S. market. Currently, there's no operating tungsten primary mines in the U.S., and that is our goal here with this asset. So what that means is that there's obviously multiple kind of permitting steps that you need to follow along here in order to put a project into construction or to get it to a construction ready phase. So some of those important steps we can now kind of proceed and get those started based on environmental permitting, things like that. A lot of the work was already done by the previous owners, but it's now about building on those different elements that have been completed and getting us closer to our ultimate goal. And then also on top of that, Garfield, as you mentioned, it's an asset that has certainly caught the investor's eye over the last several months here, and management as well. And as someone who's spent a lot of time in porphyry exploration, it's an asset that continues to really shine there, and there's a lot of excitement there. So we'll be announcing what those next steps are, but the money that we've brought in will allow us to undertake those next steps. So there's a lot to look forward to now. 2023 really was about kind of getting the company position, making a name for ourselves in the market, putting a lot of really important building blocks in place. But now 2024 is where we really start to grow this business and do some things where we can add what we think could be tremendous value to what we're doing here at Pilot Mountain, Garfield, and the other assets in the portfolio.
Okay, good. So the drilling in the not too distant future, that's good to hear, Oliver. Will you be releasing plans to the market before you get the drills turning?
Absolutely, yes. We will outline sort of what the plan is, what the various targets we will be drilling, and what the possible outcomes could be. So there'll be a lot of news coming out here. Certainly in the 3 things that we've just discussed today, but it's going to be a very busy and active period. through to spring and then into summer here, which is a great time to be exploring in Nevada. It's been a very warm winter there, so to say. So there's no snow on the ground anywhere, and a lot of work that we can be doing here. So we'll have lots of news out covering the drilling, the permitting, and Garfield as well as some other news as well. So it's going to be a very busy and active period for the gold medal going forward here.
Good
remainder of 2024.
Good stuff. And any news on the US government grant funding and how that might play and how the developments are going on that?
Yeah, no, it's a good question, Mark, and it's one that people have been asking us. Obviously, there's certain things that I can and cannot say right now. What I can say is that the data points continue to stack up in our favor. They almost seem to be coming out every week or 2 weeks now, sort of various additional data points which support what we believe to be a very strong proposition to the U.S. government. So the timelines and what the rough timelines are have been communicated to the market. So I'll have to just kind of leave it at that for now. But we do feel like we're in a very unique position here. I believe we are one of the only companies, if not the only company in the UK, who is potentially in line to receive some of these funds from the US government if we are successful. So it's a very important part of our strategy. But what this money allows us to do now is just really start to push forward and fast track a lot of these important kind of building blocks in this company. All the while those conversations and the timelines on the grant funding continue to tick forward in the background. So it's going to be a really exciting year for the Golden Metal Resources here. And this money allows us to really start to fast track some of those really important developments.
Indeed. Well, that's good to hear, Oliver. I wonder if I can get a bit of a thought from you from PDAC. What was it like over there? Did you have a stand or were you just walking the floor? What was the vibe while you were over there?
Yeah, no, not a stand this year. I find kind of that the most value is typically, when you're just walking around and meeting people. So the great thing about PDAC is a lot of people we've been talking to in Canada and the US as well, they all sort of congregate to Toronto. So it was quite busy. It was sort of back to back meetings most days. But it's good to meet face to face. I mean, it's great to obviously do Zoom and it allows people to connect quite easily, but to really sit down face to face and have the deck in front of us. And for that person, whoever's interested to actually meet me face to face is a huge advantage. So very, very busy conference. People are getting excited here. Gold and a few of the metals are starting to really tick up here, waiting for the equities to kind of catch up. But I did tweet a few kind of final closing comments from the conference. The kind of the main takeaway I think would be mineral security, and that was certainly prevalent across every conversation I had. Is really this need now, with everything that's going on in the world, to reshore the domestic supply chains of these really important, critical defense and battery metals. And obviously that's really kind of the main part of our agenda here at Golden Metal Resources. So that was encouraging to see. People are really waking up to tungsten as well. So it's one where people are learning about it. They understand the importance of it and really are shocked when they find out that we are the only US focused tungsten explorer and hopefully developer here. So I think we're in a really great position. And this theme is not going away, and we're positioned perfectly here at Golden Metal Resources.
Good. Well, thank you very much, Oliver, for your time today. I look forward to discussing the plans at, of course, Garfield and, of course, pilot mounted on both the tungsten and, of course, the garnet that we talked about before, potential there. But I'm sure we'll be doing that in due course. But for now, thank you very much for your time. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Let's chat again soon.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like, or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.